Hi, Gene here from Hazard Call with another edition of our Hazard Call How-Tos. In this edition, we're talking about how to use the message library, a new feature that was introduced in the fall of 2021. The agenda for this training will be first to explore what this text library is, how to send a message using the library, and how to create your own custom message. So the question is, why use the library? Well, over the last 18 months or so, we looked at all of the messages that our clients had been sending using the HazardCall community broadcast feature and found that they fell into certain categories. So rather than have you retype the message each time, we created generic versions of these messages, and we also hired an emergency manager fluent in Spanish to translate those messages so that you could send them out bilingually. This means you don't have to send the same message twice in English and Spanish to everyone, and you can direct who gets what language-based message. So this should make your use of the HazardCall community broadcast a little bit faster and a little bit easier. Now, before you use this, there are two important steps. You'll have to go through training, which can be just watching this video prior to activation, and you'll need to assign the residents in your account as either English or Spanish. Now, to do that, second step, you'll need to log into your account and go to Add Manage Residents. When you click on that, pick a resident, and at the bottom of the list of all the options that are in there for the resident, you'll see Set Language. So ensure that the people who need to get these messages in English are set properly, and the people who need to get these messages in Spanish are also set properly. So now let's talk about using the library. Now, it can be accessed either through your account by logging in or through the HazardCall app. Now, the library is located in the Community Broadcast section. So when you tap on Community Broadcast to Residents, you will see a new green box that's labeled Manage Text Message Library. When you click on that, you will see the ability to create a new message or to view the messages that are currently in the library. So let's take a look at the messages that are in there. And again, when we activate your account to have this feature, the following messages will automatically be preloaded into your account. So these come with the system, and they are a variety of messages that you might send out to residents, anything from boiling water notices to the water's back on to hard freeze, etc. So let's take a look at one of these. Let's take a look at one of the most commonly used messages, the water out. And you'll see that when you click on it, you're shown the English and the Spanish version. As I mentioned, we hired an emergency manager to make sure that these messages would be understood by anyone who speaks Spanish, and that's what you will see. Again, these are preset, preloaded, and ready to go. Now, if you look at these and you say, well, I want to vary them, I want to change them, you can do that, although we don't really recommend that you do that. But let's say that you wanted to do that. If you wanted to make a change, if you make a change in one version, you have to make a change to the other. We do not automatically translate. So if you wanted to, for instance, change the English message to say the water is out until 3 p.m., you can do that, but you'll have to put that 3 p.m. part in Spanish in the bottom. Also, remember that if you change anything with the Spanish version, you have to make sure that you don't include any accent marks, any tildes, or any other special characters, because they will not be sent out properly. They will be sent out garbled. So let's say that you did want to create a brand new message from scratch. You can do that to put it into the library. So create new message is what you would select. And let's say we're going to give a message about the Christmas party. So we're going to give this message a name called Christmas Party, and we're going to type it in English. Again, we're having a Christmas party, etc. So we save that, and now it's in the library. Let's take a look at it. There it is, Christmas Party. It wasn't there before when we had the list, so now we've added it. When we click on it, you'll notice that it only has an English version. If you wanted to send this message to both English and Spanish residents, you would have to manually translate. And again, we remind you that when you translate, you cannot have the special characters, accents, tildes, etc. In the Spanish version. But once you do that, make that translation, you now have an English version and a Spanish version, so that when you send this, it'll go out to those residents based on language. So let's go ahead and send a message. You can do it again through the portal by logging in, or you can use the app and select Community Broadcast. So either way, when you select community broadcast, let's say we're going to send a message to all residents. We click on all residents, and you'll now see that above the space where you normally type in a message, there's a box that says choose library message. So you can choose one of the messages that's in the library. And you'll see the list of messages. Let's pick the water out. And you'll notice that it automatically appears in the box. Now, you only see the English version, but if it is in the library as English and Spanish, it will go out to the residents based on the language that's set in their record in your account. Remember early on we talked about making sure that residents are assigned their language properly. So again, you want to make sure you have that set before you start sending messages this way. So when we send this message, again, it will go out to the residents based on their language. Now, you can still manually compose your own message. You can still do that, not use the library. So if you just wanted to type a message, like in this example, the message is that the office is closing early. You go ahead and type it in. Now, when you send this message will go to all residents in English, or however it's typed in that box. So this will not go out bilingually. It will only go out in one language. Now, after you send it, you are shown the option to save it. So let's say that's a message that you want to use over and over again. You can save it. And again, you can save it as English or save it as Spanish. However you save it, go ahead and save that message. Now, if you want a Spanish version of that message, you need to go back to the library and create it. Just be sure that you use the same name so the English and Spanish versions are paired together in the library. So to recap, messages that you send using the library are sent in English and Spanish if they're stored that way in the library. Messages that you send manually are sent to everyone exactly how they're typed. So your next steps are to activate this feature. You want to contact Elizabeth Painter, our customer service manager, and just tell her that you've watched the video, you understand how to use the service, and you're ready to go, and she will turn it on in your account. You want to make sure that the residents, again, are set to the correct language in your account, and then you can begin using the library. Well, if you have any questions about using the message library, don't forget to email either Elizabeth or me, and I want to thank you so much for watching this video.